Sana, come here. Here, Sana. You could tell me what? Starters. You could tell me starters. You know, some people will read it. You know it. Come here, come here. I've been very upset. I'm not gonna use my laptop. Try to say, could get me might mute, unmute, cause me again it unmute on my phone. Citizen posting.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me. Good afternoon, everybody. Let me know if you guys are hearing me in the chat. If you hear me, just say yes. And if you're ready, just say yes as well. All right, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is safe. We're gonna have our session online today, which makes it a little different, but I need you guys to still participate and answer questions, right? I don't use camera. I prefer everybody to respond, typing in the chat because it's easy to manage. But I need you guys to head up your books like how I have this screen headed up. Once you are done with that, just type done, and then we're gonna get started. Does it need it or? I need to put my book. I need to put my book. My book. I need a pen. Hold on. Where the animals in? They're coming. They're coming. Where are we? All right, so that's one person ready. All right, that's two persons that are finished. For those who just joining us, please copy down the heading in your books because we're gonna get started now. All right. So the last thing that we would have done. Hi.
Me and Rainbow together.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. For those who just joined, it's better for everyone to communicate using the chat. So if you see at the bottom of the chat, you would see you could send a message to the entire group, or you could select my name and send messages to me directly, and only I will see it. So when I give you a question to do, that's where you would have to send your answers. If you have any questions, you could ask questions there. But once everybody ready, if you're ready, say ready, so I could take note of everybody who is in attendance right now. So just type ready, and then we're gonna get started once everybody does. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So what we're gonna do today, right? We're gonna maximize on covering as much topics as possible since we can't really do a class with practice. So what we're gonna do today, take notes, take down a lot of examples, make sure we understand, do a little practice together, and then the next class gonna be a class where we just got questions and we practicing everything we did in class today. So even though we online, it is very important that you pay attention. It's very important that you try the things that I asked you to try. It's very important to ask any questions that you have so that I could clarify or even explain in another way. All right. So just to make sure, the last thing that we did was that we had on the board that we didn't do was laws of indices, correct? Don't forget participation, answering questions, extremely crucial for today's class. And I need somebody to do me a favor. Could you send me a picture? Anybody, it could be anybody. Send me a picture of the practice questions that I sent you guys that was on the board. Somebody just send that to me, please. All right, so in the meantime, in between time, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the laws of indices and make sure we understand how they're used and what to do with them. What we did before was addition and subtraction of algebraic terms. And we should remember that those two rules, keeping in mind, addition and subtractions are a pair. They're the opposites of each other. So what happens is that they generally always have the same type of rules, if anybody realized that yet. Just the same way, multiplication and division, they're similar. Well, not similar, they're the opposites of each other. So they have similar rules. But what you must realize is what you do for addition and subtraction would never be the same thing that you do for multiplication and division. So when we had learned addition and subtraction of algebra terms, what was the rule? You could only add and subtract what? The L word. What is the only thing you could add and subtract in algebra? Anybody in the chat? We can only, and it's in your notes for those who don't know. I don't remember. It was the last thing that we learned. What is the rule for adding and subtracting algebra terms? We can only add and subtract what? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, ladies. Very good. Everybody agreed? Everybody got it? If you got it, say got it, please. Oh, I was going to tell you, WhatsApp it to me instead. Thank you, She. All right, so what we're gonna do now, send it back to me. Send it to me on WhatsApp. So send me questions that we practiced that I had on a board on WhatsApp instead, because I can't open it on my computer for some strange reason. Okay, so let's start off with the first rule. The first rule that you should have is a to the m power times a to the n power is equal to a m times n. Now, how do we know this is true? Let's do a proof. And a proof is basically you using an example to show that this is true no matter what you do. So this is the part I need everybody to pay attention to. So let's use our example, a to the third power times a to the second power. When we are expanding, what does a to the third power actually mean? How much a's is that? And this is a question for everybody. Anything raised to the third power, you multiply it by itself, how much times? Excellent. Thank you so much, guys. So this would be then a times a times a. Then if you got a to the second power, how much a's is that? Excellent. So that would be a times a. How much a's you got in all? If you look at it, you realize you're multiplying the same thing, just more than what they gave you. So count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our answer would be a to the fifth power. Now, what this rule does is that instead of having people write out all the a's, they give you a shortcut, and this is the shortcut. Once you are multiplying a variable that have the same base, and in this example, what is the same base? A. What do you do with the powers, everybody? Sorry, that's supposed to be add. I don't know why it look like multiply. It shouldn't look like multiply. That's my bad. This supposed to be. Forgive me, because it kind of hard to write online. So just make sure you always clarify with me if you don't know, right? So as I was saying, so in this case, all we're doing is adding how much a's we have in all. So this would be a, and to show you working, because remember, what is more important than the answer? The working. So we would have 3 plus 2 equal a to the 6th power. If you got it, say got it. We got 11 students in here. Everybody talk to me. If you got it, say got it. If you don't got it, say don't got it. And I expect to see everybody at least responding to that part. Are watching the chat? So we're going to do a quick example, and I want everybody to tell me what you think the answer is. And because we are using typing, if you want to send your answer, let's say we're doing P's, you could just say P3. And I would know that P3 means P to the third power. Everybody with me? All right, so let's do this example, and I want everybody to tell me what you think the answer will be. So if I had M to the fifth power times M to the fifth power, what is my answer? Let's go, guys. You got this. All right. If you want to change your answer, you can. So everybody's saying M10. So let's see if that's right. Keeping in mind, if we were in class, there would be two things that I'm looking for, right? The two things I will be looking for is your working and then your answer. So what would the working look like? The working would look like 5M5 plus 5, which is equal to M10. So big up yourself, everybody. Excellent. So that means we're okay with rule number 1. So I need you, because since you have the rule, just rewrite all of this. And when you're done, sit down, please. So copy that down. Then we're going to move on to rule number 2. I don't know what I know. That's 2 persons done. Please note that the first thing I want to see from you at our next class is your book with everything that we did in class. And please note, once I write something on this screen, this is expected to be written in your books, okay? Just like in class, wherever I write on the board, you should have in your books. All right, how we looking, everybody else? Almost finished? No, you know what I want you to also pay attention to? You see the proof part? The proof part is extremely important. Why is the proof part extremely important? Recently, a new thing that CXC does now is ask students to prove something. So they're going to say A3 times A2 is equal to A6. Prove this statement. Prove this equation. Anytime they ask you to prove something, it just means that you have to use the rule or the law to show that what they give you is it's equal to the answer that they provided. Okay? How everybody else looking? So, if we was in class, I would be playing some music, right? So, but I don't know what kind of music to play. But it raining. I was waiting for you, Nail. Okay, I'm gonna play a young boy. Which one? Genie? Okay. Genie on top? Okay. Celeste. DJ V in the building on the 1s and 2s. YouTube DJ. Everybody else, you got 2 more minutes. Let's go. In the future, if ever we're doing something and you feel like you're writing a little slow, you could take a picture of the screen. Question, what y'all using, your phones or laptops?
Because that's my way of showing I don't care no more. I'm gonna just go with life.
That's for everybody.
All my night.
Phone or laptop? Laptop, phone, laptop. Okay. You can take a picture or screenshot.
If they ain't no problems.
All right, how we looking?
I'm gonna solve it. Yeah, so much pain in my body.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they said the lies and I bought it. Yeah, don't tell me that you love me if you ain't gonna die for me. You can stay there for me if you.
All right, so I'm hoping everybody is with me and ready to move on to rule number 2. So let's go. If I have AM divided by AN, something I want y'all to realize, even though you have it in your book, we know that multiplication is the opposite of division, right? So if when we are multiplying, we have to add the powers, obviously, when we are dividing, we're going to do the opposite of addition, which is subtraction. So when we divide two variables with the same base, we subtract the powers. So example, a to the 6 divided by a to the 2. And let me explain something here. Sometimes in exams, when students nervous, they see division, and guess what they would have put the answer as? Anybody could guess where you think somebody would make a mistake and write? They would write a to the 3rd power, because they would forget that you're not supposed to divide the powers. What you're supposed to do with the powers, you're supposed to subtract. So that's something I want us to pay attention to, things to avoid making, mistakes to avoid making. So our working is a to the 6 minus 2. So our answer is a to the 4th power. And so our proof now, how do we show proof? How do we work this out the long way? How do we divide? If I have a to the 6 divided by a to the 2, everybody should remember that this also means division, something to the top and something to the bottom. So let's do 6 a's to the top. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's make sure that's 3, that's 6. Over, how much a's? 2 a's to the bottom. So let's just make sure everybody with me, everybody understand that this literally means that. If you're with me, say with you, please. Quick, let's go. Ha ha ha, with you. All right. So what would I have to do now? Anybody remember? Because we kind of did this in fractions. If you have something to the top and the bottom and they have something in common and they're being multiplied, what do we do? Is a C word. What is that word that we do to eliminate things? If we want to scratch them out. Excellent. We cancel. So keeping in mind, we cancel in pairs. So this would be a cancel. A into itself goes once. A into itself goes once. So that's one cancel. Again, we cancel in pairs. Can we cancel again, people? Yes or no? Can we cancel again? See some thumbs up? Yes. Excellent. So let's cancel again. A into itself goes once, A into itself goes once. No, we can't cancel again because there's nothing at the bottom that allows us to cancel anything to the top. So we have to now account for what is left back. So how many A's is left back to the top? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know that represents what? A to the 4th power, and 1 times 1 is 1. Anything over 1 is itself. So that's how we prove the division rule, where if you are dividing two terms that have the same base, you subtract the power. If you got it, say got it. Please note, if you don't have it, please don't be afraid to say don't have it. So we're going to do an example. So everybody, this is the one you're going to do. I'm going to run some tunes and you're going to write it and do it as fast as possible.
If you ain't gonna ride for me, tell me you would never leave. How can you just lie to me? Get from off your knees, you ain't gotta cry to me. I've been giving all my love, tell me, do you feel it? Never learned how to trust in penitentiary. All for you, I take a slug, baby. Really, had to tell her I'm a genie, I got after wishes.
Once you get your answer, send your answer in the chat, please.
We get pulled over, no, you ain't gonna do no time for me. I put my hands up, police shoot down on me. So many charges make me wanna go and way overseas. Yeah. Reminiscing about them days. I was sitting up in the cage. I was begging you to stay. And you hung up in my face. Free Kodak, everything is slayed. They keep begging me to change. Talk to Future the other day. And he say I need to change lanes. Yeah. Cause they gon' try to count you out. So you make them count you in. Yeah. Stimulate my brain, yeah. Had to tell them I ain't leaving out the same way I came in. Yeah. All out of hair running, I said let's keep fighting for my mom. Well, we never run, just like a man, I'll face my pride.
All right, I see everybody saying P7. So let's check to see if that's true. So let's see if that is correct. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone for doing the work and participating and sharing your answers. I really do appreciate that. I'm proud of you guys. So good job. So here we have division. So we know this is your working. So your working should be 10 minus 3 is equal to P to the 7th power. Question, y'all showing the workings in your notebooks as well? Or you just putting the P7? Y'all doing the working, showing the working? Because that part is actually really important when it's time to study, right? Because you have to know how you get a 7. All right, excellent job, everybody. Everybody get cookies. When it raining, I like to make cookies, but I need to find out where everybody live. So even if I do it for Christmas, I could deliver cookies for everybody. Even if you live like deep in the country, I would bring it for you still. You just gotta let me know which cookies y'all prefer. All right, so let's go. Rule number 3. I think rule number 3, because sometimes I switch it up. So rule number 3 would be, hold on, a to the power of 0, right? Somebody verify for me, please. That's the rule, right? Okay. All right. So what it simply means, guys, is anything, and it actually includes numbers as well. Anything raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. And this small fact is sometimes the thing that people forget that is really important in the exam. So let me just go on the side and put an example. So P raised to the power of 0 is 1. 20 raised to the power of 0 is 1. M raised to the power of 0 is 1. Anything raised to the power of 0 is automatically 1. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a proof about it. So let's start off with a to the 3rd power divided by a to the 3rd power. So my question to everybody is, how do I work out this? What rule is this? Wasn't this the same rule that we just did? Rule number 2? So what should I do with the powers? That's the first question. Add, subtract, multiply, divide. What should I do to the 2 powers? Excellent, excellent. So that's the first thing we're gonna have. A to the 3rd power minus 3. So our answer is a to the 0. And we know by the rule that's equal to 1. But let's do the working to see if that is true. So we're gonna work it out the long way by representing a to the 3rd power by a times a times a divided by, because that's what these lines mean, by a to the 3rd power, which is a times a times a. Obviously, we know this means the same thing like before. We cancel where we can. So a can go into itself once, can go into itself once. Same thing repeated, same thing repeated. Oh, I forgot an a on this side. So let me just add that a, and then we cancel as usual. Anybody could tell me what we get to the top? 1 times 1 times 1 is what? 1 over 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. So anybody realize what happens here? It cancels out itself. If you got it, say got it. All right. We're cooking on gas. We're cooking on gas. We're cooking on gas. Question, which one works better for you guys? Y'all could write and listen at the same time. So when I write in, y'all writing too. You prefer that? Or y'all prefer to listen first, watch first, and then write? Or which one y'all prefer? Writing while I write? Write and listen? Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So that way we could move together. but some people prefer listen first. Okay, noted as well. So it's honestly which one ever works best for you, because sometimes it's important to pay attention. So I personally would prefer if everybody would pay attention, make sure they understand, and then rate, okay? All right, so we're gonna move on. I'm gonna leave this here so you could still copy down, but we're gonna move on to rule number 4. So let me just draw a line to separate it. So rule number 4 was A to the M in brackets N. Quick question. Do we remember the 2 meanings of brackets? Brackets hold 2 meanings. In different situations, it means different things. Sometimes if there's things that you can do in the brackets, brackets mean what? Do it first. But let's say you have brackets and you can't do nothing in the brackets and there's something outside the bracket, then the bracket actually means what? To multiply, right? Guys, hold on 1 minute, please. Okay, now that I have more students here, I realize when I send out messages, some of you don't get the messages because you don't have my number added. So if something was to happen and I have to cancel class, a lot of you won't get the message because you don't have my number. So I need everybody tonight to make sure you have my number added. And then I'm going to send out a test broadcast and you have to confirm that you receive it. Because for example, today, I had to literally go and message everybody individually because you guys only receive 1 tick when I send the broadcast. So everybody understand what I'm asking you to do? Please make sure you have my number added so that you can receive the broadcast messages. All right, so let's go on to this one now. So as I was saying, brackets got 2 meanings. It could mean do it first or multiply. In this case, it actually means to multiply. So again, remember y'all have this, right? Okay, send me a WhatsApp. Okay, let me just put my number here so that everybody can see for those who don't know. 767-9714. So if you don't have it added, add it now, please. So send me a message and tell me this is you so I can make sure I have the right number because some persons are indicating that they have a different number. All right, no problem. All right, so let's go. So as I was saying, so in this case, this just means multiplication. So what we do is multiply the powers. So it would be AM times N. So how we're gonna prove this is by using an example like before. So let's say I have A to the 3rd power outside 2. Anybody could tell me what the answer is going to be, and then we're going to prove it. So what's the answer here? It's going to be A to the somebody. Okay, so that's one person taking a try. Anybody else want to take a try? What would it be? Thank you, Naive, for trying. Same thing? Okay, so it would be 3 times 2, so that will give us A to the 6th power. All right, so let's discuss what this means. Squaring something, A mean multiplying that thing by itself twice. Agree or disagree? So if I am going to square what's inside the brackets, that means I am going to take A3 and multiply it by itself twice. So that would mean A3 times A3. So I'm going to do it the long way and I could do it the short way. So let's do it the short way first. The short way first would mean, since we're multiplying, what we're going to do with the powers, and add them. So that would be A3 plus 3, which is A6. And the long way we know is to do 3 A's times 3 A's, which would give us how much A's? 6 A's. If you got it, say got it. So just a quick recap on the first, 4 laws that we've done so far. I'll watch in the chat to see if you are with me. The first one is when you're multiplying variables of the same base, you add the powers. When you're dividing variables of the same base, you subtract the powers. Anything to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Then when you have brackets, brackets mean to do what? Multiply the power that is inside by the power that is outside. So let's do our quick example here, and then we're moving right along. So this would be example. And the example will be A to the 4th power brackets to the 3rd power. So all I want to hear is what you have for your answer for this one. So drop your answer for me. All right. So we have an answer. 2 persons. Excellent job, guys. That's right. Excellent. Don't tell me that you love me if you ain't gonna die for me. I actually feel very, very proud of you guys. So excellent job. And we should have one more rule, right? The 5th rule. So let's do the 5th rule now. All right, so let's do the 5th rule, which is anything raised to the power of -1 is equal to 1 over that thing. Now, I need everybody to lock in right now. So whatever you're doing, I need you to stop and I need you to pay attention, because you see this concept here. This is the first time you're going to be introduced to a concept that comes a lot in the big or harder topics, the complex topics. Anytime there's something raised to the power of -1, that -1 is called the inverse. And for those who don't know, the inverse actually means the opposite, right? So technically, the opposite of addition is subtraction. The opposite of multiplication is division. So if I have a regular number, which is 1A, what is the opposite of that? In switching it. So let me explain what I mean by that. How do I write A as a fraction? We did this already. How do you write any whole number as a fraction? So let's start with a number actually. And I hope everybody paying attention. If I have 3 and I say write 3 as a fraction, wouldn't that be 3 over 1? Talk to me, yes or no? Because I need to make sure you're with me on every step as we build on this concept. Right? No, the opposite wouldn't mean I flip this upside down. Everybody see what I mean? So the opposite of 3 over 1 is actually 1 over 3. So look at this then. There's another way to write 1 over 3. So instead of 3, so 3 would be the regular number, and 3 minus 1 would be the opposite or the inverse. I could write 3 as a fraction, which would be 3 over 1. And I could write this as a fraction, which would be 1 over 3. Tell me if you see what's going on here. So let me draw a line so you can see the opposite. So this would be the number, and this would be the inverse. So all they're saying is that there's 2 ways to write the inverse. You could write it using the -1 as the power, or you could use it as writing as a fraction. So let's do another example. Should I do another example, peoples? All right. So let's try a letter. If I had M as a letter, how would I write M as a fraction? M as a fraction would become what? Just M over 1. Suppose I want the inverse of M. The inverse of M would be M minus 1, or I could write it as a fraction. How? 1 over M. Talk to me. So, should I do the proof now? Are you guys ready to see the proof? So let's do the proof. So the proof, let's take a to the 3rd power divided by a to the 4th power. My question to everybody is, would you know how, based on what we've been doing all afternoon, anybody know how they should set out this to do the proof on their own if I was to ask you to do it on your own? All I need to know if you think you know what to do. Yes or no? Do you know how to set out this proof here? Only 3 persons said yes. One to everybody else. Is that a yes or no? If you don't know, that's okay. But I need to know if you think, if I was to say, prove this theory using this example, if you know what I expect you to set out. Because we divide in, that mean we're going to put 3 A's to the top and how much to the bottom? Excellent. So that will be A. Very good, guys. Oh my God. A times A times A over 4 of them, A times A times A times A. And then we should know what to do from here. We should cancel, right? So this would be my first cancel, that's 1. This would be my second cancel, and this would be my third cancel. Anybody realize what's going on? What do we end up with? 1 times 1 times 1 is 1 over, how much A is left back to the bottom? Just 1 of them. And if we were to use the rule, what we would have done, we would have said A, because we divide and we're going to subtract the powers, minus 4. And we know the laws of integers say, subtract the 2 numbers and your answer take the sign of the bigger number. So that would be A, -1. So that's how we prove that this is the exact same thing as that. If you got it, say got it. If you got it, say got it. Now, all of us should have the questions that we copied down in class. So this would include, I think it was 6 examples, right? Yeah? So you guys are going to work this out and we're going to share the answers together. And everybody, we're going to just say if we agree or disagree. So I'm going to write the first example because this is just quick practice before we get into the CXC level questions that we got to touch up today. So the first one was, number 1, was P3 times P4. Drop your answer quick. It got a song about rain. All right, so somebody said P12. Anybody else? I have to put on my English accent now because this is really serious. Guys, I can't even play my song for you. Guys, how are you do that, man? Come on, man. How are you get catch like that? Exactly. We spoke about this. Don't ever do that. Anytime you're doing a question, what should be your first step? You don't assume they just multiply. You go back to the rules. So all I get catch. That's why I ain't saying nothing here. I get catch good. So very good for realizing the mistakes, Haida, and then steering everybody in the right direction. Because, Vakim, you got it right? Excellent. Because what should be our working? What is the rule? When the variables are alike, you multiply, and you're multiplying. What do you do with the powers? You add. So what you should have had as you're working is P3 plus 4, which is P7. All right, let me go. The next one was what? M6 divided by M2? M6 divided by M2. You guys have these questions, right? Because this is just quick practice. These ain't even the challenge thinking questions. All right, everybody talk to me. Give me the answer for this one. Don't get catch again, eh? Let's go. Excellent. This is your working. M6 minus 2 is equal to M4. Very good, guys. Next one was A10 divided by 10. A10. What's the answer, people? Ooh, jumping on another level there. Excellent. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Anybody else? Everybody agree? Excellent. Because we should know this would be A10 minus 10, which is A0, and anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. Excellent job, guys. Next one. P2, 3. Let's go. Answer for this one, guys. Stand up. Excellent job. And this should be working. P 2 times 3, which is P6. Very good. 5, the last one. Of this one is a little tricky, but my question to you is, do you think you could get the answer? I want you to try it without me helping. So tell me if you know what you should do. All I need to hear is yes or no. Do you think you know what to do with this question? Yes or no? Only Vakeem say yes, guys. Well, I'm to everybody else. What's up? What's going on? Lynn, thank you. Kai, thank you. Everybody else, what's going on? The question was, do you think you can do this question? And it could be honest with me. If you're not sure, you can say Ms. V, no. All right, okay, let's go. Bust it up for me. Get your answer. Because after this, we're going to actually start doing some real CXC level questions that require us to be very observant and very specifically paying attention to the rules. So get your answer for me. Well, sing my song.
Love unconditional.
So somebody got A4, so I'm gonna write it on the side. So that's the first answer. Scroll up a little bit. Okay, love. So somebody say A4. Somebody else say A4. Okay, seems like everybody's saying A4. Everybody back check. Also I need to take register. So there's some students who don't have a name. So I need to take register right now. And there's some students who don't have a name next to their account. So I just want to call on those that I am seeing and those that I'm not sure. I'm gonna ask who you are. So you just tell me who you are. Okay, so let me just take, I see Tyrone is here. I'm not seeing Glenicia, so I don't know if one of the accounts are is Glenicia. So let me know if it is. Sheeton is here. Kaden, Kai is here. Devonique is not here. Lynn is here. Kayla is here. I think Akila is having issues, so I'm gonna message her. Raquel, I don't know if Raquel is here. Ashan is here. Zahida is here. Rainbow and Moisha, y'all said y'all were together, I think. Yes. Vacuum is here. Javin. Nail. So Dante. So who Akela? Okay, got you. Okay. Dante, got you. So it's just 3 persons absent from class today. Excellent job, guys. All right. So let's see if you guys, oh, it's Rainbow and Zahida together. So Moisha is not here then. Okay, noted. Thank you. So, all right, let's go, guys. Now, to get full marks, how many operations do we have in this example? We have 2 operations. At the top, we have multiplication. So we have to get an answer to the top first, like always, just like how when we was doing fractions, that's what we had to do. Even though it's a different topic, it's the same approach, right? So to get our full marks, keeping in mind, working is more important than the answer. So we're going to say A5 plus 3, and then you put back A4, because this is something I see y'all doing. Y'all doing the right working, but you forgetting to put back things. If you don't use it, you just write it back. So as we continue now, we would end up with what? A to the 5th power, 8 power, sorry, 8 power divided by 8 to the 4th power. Now, I could rewrite this for this to make more sense to me. So I would have A8 minus 4, which is A4. Excellent job, everyone. Very, very, very good. Now, we're going into the class activity, which is questions I'm going to give you, and you have to state your answer in the chat. So you're going to head up right now, class activity 1. Please note that these questions are actually going to be testing your level of observation, your ability to decode, read, and answer effectively using the right thing. Okay, where you mean go back over where we was? Over here? So everybody else, head up class activity number 1. There's some things I want to just recap and remind you of before we start. So let's just do that before we get into those questions. Nail, you finish? Okay, here's what to do then. Take a picture. Let me zoom in. Take a picture so that we could move on, and then you could always go back and copy it over, okay? No, the act. Hey, I just listen to soca. Like I don't know about young people, you know. I like dark, sad music. Like if a boss a kiss. All right, let's go. So first question is if everybody ready for the second part. Everybody okay with the first 5 rules? So I want you to score yourself out of 5 based on how you feel about your understanding. So if you feel like you understand all 5 rules, 5 out of 5. 4 if you only feel like you understand 4 of them, 3, etc. So everybody drop your score now, please. Por favor. Remember, you're just rating your understanding of the rules. Okay, perfecto. Muy bien. All right. So let's recap on some things that you should know. Some things that you should know is, so I'm just going to write this down. And I think you should write these down too. So things you should know or should remember. Things you should know. But pay attention first. So nobody should be writing yet. Just pay attention. The first thing is, if I have 2 different variables, what do I do when I multiply 2 variables that are different? I just put them together, right? Similarly, if I am multiplying a constant by a variable, similarly, I just do what? Put them together. Everybody got it? All right, so there's some things that are gonna come up as well later on as we do the practice questions, but these two things are important. Another thing you should know is if I have a variable m, it is understood that m actually do have a coefficient. Anybody could tell me what that coefficient is? Even though no number in front, there's a number in front. Excellent, that number is 1. Similarly, even though there's no visible power, there is a power. What is that power? That power is also 1. Very good. So this is extremely important as we move forward into the further examples that we will be doing. All right, so let's go. First question, if I could find the thing that I had there. Where you gone? Okay, here it is. So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna write the question, work it out, post your answer. You guys have 60 seconds or less to do each one. So this is a time challenge. If you're ready, say ready, let's go. So I watch in the chat, and when the majority of persons say ready, I will begin. All right, guys, let's go. First question. You got this. Please pay attention to the details. Go.
Look like you about to get bigger. Look like you love this nigga. Look like you ready to give me a son and a daughter now. I like it. Apply for
Oh my God. The jour? Oh my goodness. That's one person. The jour. That's 2. Y'all can send me y'all answers. Okay, everybody post your answer. Let me see where you get. Come on, everybody post. Okay, I have good news and I have bad news. Which one do I want? First. The good news, the bad news is majority of you guys got it wrong. Only 2 people got it right. So the good news is I love you guys. I love everybody, regardless. So I want you to look at it again and think about the rules, because every time I do a question, I keep saying the same thing over and over. I actually keep reinforcing the rule which would apply here. And that is something I want y'all to learn how to do, to listen and absorb what I'm saying. Everything I say is for a reason. So now 3 persons got it right. Can I use laws of indices in this question, people? This is a P. Hold on there. This is a P. This is a Q. What does the law of indices say? They must have the same what? What did I underline here? For you to use the law and add the powers, they must have the same what? In the same base. Is P and Q the same thing? No, it is not. And just now, I literally did something. What did I do? Things that you should remember. What was that rule? If they are different, all you got to do is what? Put them together. Everybody see what's going on? I see how let's give all the little cookie crumbs and y'all just walk over it. Everything I give you or I say to you is for you to use in your levels of thinking. So when we look at this question, the first thing we should say is, ma'am, This is a P, this is a Q. That's two different variables. So I can't do nothing with the powers except put these two variables together. So your answer is P squared Q to the fourth power. If you got it, say got it. Excellent job to those students who got it right. Everybody else, I hope you understand the line of thinking you should have. As I said, if you got it, say got it. If you don't got it, say don't got it. Let me explain further, please. I'm telling y'all now, especially students who intend on writing the exam, this is the difference between a student who will pass and a student who will not pass. You have to do thinking. You have to think about everything. Look at how they're connected. Look at how to use it. All right, let's go. Second one. I know you could do this. B. Go. And we move into a little faster because some of these here are really easy. Let's go. Drop your answer quick. Let's go. Excellent. Excellent. Just to keep in mind, I'm just going to make sure I always show my working because when you guys study, I want to make sure you remember how you got your answer. Because it's going to be 6 times 3 because it's brackets, so it's multiplication, M18. Now, let's take it up another notch now. 2P times P to the third power. Try that for me, there. Okay. So we got some different answers. Okay, noted. I'm watching all. I see 3P3. I saw 2P4. Saw P6. Let me scroll back up there. Everybody else, let's go. Don't be afraid to share your answer. Because you know that's how you learn, yeah? The only way you learn is if you try. Another person said 2P3. All right, Ethan. Anyone wants to try? Say your answer, please. So we have 2P5. All right, let's take a look and see what we should get, yeah? Now, is there a coefficient for the P3? That's the first question I'm asking. What's the coefficient for P to the third power? We just talked about that before. That's it. It is 1. So for those who don't know, anytime you're multiplying variables with coefficient, you treat the coefficient separately. So you say 2 times 1 is what? 2. Then you look at the variables and see what's going on with the variables. The variables in this example are alike. So that means what power does this P have? This P, oh my God, I nearly killed myself saying these P things. There's a power on this P, and that power is, ladies and gentlemen, what is it? A P by itself has a power of 1. That's right. So what rule can I apply? I apply rule number 1, which is we add the powers. So that leaves us with our final answer, 2P to the 4th power. Excellent job to everybody who tried. For those who made a mistake, I hope you see where you make a mistake and you understand. And under this is what I want you to write. When, un momento, por favor. Looking for my book. I just wanted to copy down a little note here for me, please. when given coefficients while multiplying or dividing, one, multiply / divide the coefficients, divide the coefficients, and two, use the laws for the variables. So everybody copying this down. So let's make sure we're clear on what this means. So you're treating the question separately in two different ways. Once you have coefficients, the coefficients apply a different rule from the variables. So if you're multiplying, you're gonna multiply the coefficients. If you're dividing, you're gonna divide the coefficients. Then once you got your coefficient answer, you go back to the variables and you look at the variables you have, and then you use the laws that are applicable. Once you guys are done copying this down, say done, please. Just one person. Stop with the red wine. Waiting for everybody else. So I'm gonna give you guys a challenge now.
Not gonna waste time.
Let me pause this.
I'm gonna.
Please know that everything I said just now would be necessary to answer this question correctly. Don't just start working out things. Look at what you are given, analyze what you should do, and then do it. All right? Okay.
Hey, good time, yeah. I've been counting blessings, though. Really, you've been looking like the best one. You got me crazy. It started spinning on the day. Never felt like this since this maybe. I hit the lotto since I set my eyes on you. I don't know what they say. I don't know when they break away.
Post your answer when you finish, guys. Okay, Kai. I'm not saying if it's right or wrong yet. I'm not gonna say if it's right or wrong. Thank you for your answer. Anybody else?
You do it like start with the red wine, finish at the waistline, yeah. Stay someday, you know you so long.
Okay, so we have 4 and 2 to the third for P.
But you make me feel this kind of
4 and 3 P.
burn my
Okay.
eyes. That was full love. Right now, me and cool.
Come on, everybody else, let's go.
Move with the ball, yeah, yeah. I've been stressed out. You know my face light up my sense. You are the.
All right, so because we're multiplying in algebra, what did I say you have to do? Is separate the two things. Each term has a coefficient, right? So this coefficient is 4 and this coefficient is 3. So no matter what must I do with the 4 and 3 because we're doing what? Multiplying, right? So no matter what, your answer will be 4 times 3, which is 12. And then let's look at the variables. The two variables are different. So all I need to do is what? Put them together. Excellent job, everybody. Thank you for making your corrections. Let's move on. We're going to get a little harder now. May the forces be with you. Let's go. Run it. Take a try. Think about the rules. Think about the rules. First of all, if anybody feel like they don't know what to do, just say not sure. But I still want you to try.
Yeah, and if you left, find your way back home to me. You are gonna find your way back home.
This
to
one too
me.
hard?
So we can do it live.
Should I do it first?
Let's start with the red one.
Okay.
We can finish at the waistline.
Anybody else want to try? You know, trying is, that's how we learn, right? That's how we learn, guys. That's how we learn. Whether it right or wrong, that's not the focus. The focus is developing a level of thinking that is not afraid to try. Okay, so we see we have here two answers. We got M5, P7, M6, P8, M5, P7. Anybody else? Are we just watching? Okay, let's see. First thing first, let's identify what we have. We don't have any standard coefficients, so we don't have to worry about that. So our focus now is just the variables. Here we have a double letter variable. So that means the variable has M's and P's. So that means the M's gonna go together. So that means the M's gonna be M. How much M's this is? This is 3 and this is 2. So how much M's do I have in all? 3 plus 2. Then I got P's. Here I got 5 of them here. And then I got 2 of them over here. So that means that's P5 plus 2. So our final answer, ladies and gentlemen, is M to the 5th power, P to the 7th power. Excellent job for everybody who tried. Even if you make a mistake, I hope you see where your mistake is and you lock it down. If you got it, say got it, because now we're going to take it up on next notch. If you don't got it, don't be afraid to say don't got it as well, okay? I'm looking at the chat. I expect to see each student responding accordingly so that I may know how to proceed. Which part there? Which part? This one? Okay, let me break it down for you, right? M to the 3rd power, how much M's is that? So it's like you're putting these two things together, right? Which one? Because one of them M's ain't a power. Yeah, both of them got power. This is 3 M's and this is 2 M's, right? So let me break it down on this side here. Let me break it down to the side. M3 got 3 M's. Agreed? So this one here in the red, this is 3 M's. And here you got 2 M's. So let's pretend that the P's don't exist. If I was to multiply these two things, what would that give me in 5 M's in all? Tell me if you see what I'm saying. Then if I was to count the P's, how much P's do I have here? I got 5 of them. And how much over here? 2 of them. So in all, I would have 7 of those. And because I'm multiplying everything, we just put the two variables together, which will give us M5 P to the 7. Feel like it's a little clearer now? A little better? Talk to me. All right. All right, everybody, don't panic. I'm going to give you a hard one. Do not panic. Okay? All right. 5 P3 Q2 times 3 P4 Q. Try that one. Everybody, you could do this. Let's go.
Someday, you know you'll slow my mind. Look at Tana in that pretty dress. I move with the ball. You know, hey, part on the whole day, hold it down, see me. I cannot believe how much you love me like that.
All right, so we got some answers rolling in.
I had all these feelings all the way, you brought them right then. So we can do it like this. Start with the red wine.
Okay.
Finish at the waistline. Yeah.
Anybody else? Thank you, guys.
You like it, and I know those things supposed to cry, but you make me feel this kind of high, like this.
Anybody else? Let's go, guys. You can do this.
Right now, me and so
Hello.
shut up, go.
All right. Okay. So let's break it down. So we deal with our coefficients separately. So that would give us 5 times 3 is 15. Then we look at our variables. We pay attention to what we have. So I notice I have P's on both sides. That means I must be adding P's. So that will be 3, my 3 plus my 4, right? And then with my Q's, I got 2. And we should know Q by itself really means what? 1. So that will give me Q2 plus 1. So my final answer, ladies and gentlemen, which is the correct answer that everyone has, is 15p to the 7th power, q to the 3rd power. Excellent job, everybody. So now we need to move into CXC questions. So I'm gonna just write up these questions now. Well, I got one more hard one before we move on. This is the last one. Let me see if y'all could handle this. We haven't done any division either, but I know y'all could handle it. Try this one for me. X5, Y2, Z4 to this. What would you do in this case? This is what we're gonna do now. We're gonna develop our critical thinking skills. I never gave you an example like this yet. But based on what we've done before and based on what they give you, what would make the most sense to do here? I can give you a hint. You know that brackets mean to multiply, but inside the brackets, there are more than one variable with more than one power. How would you go about answering this question? Take a try and send your answer. Let's go. Something we need to develop. Answering things we see for the first time. This is exactly what happens in the exam. We don't know what kind of questions CXC could bring. They change the pattern every year. So we must be able to take something that we never seen before, but using the knowledge that we have to answer the question. So vámonos, let's go. And we're not being afraid, we're not being intimidated, we're trying. Okay then, all right. Oh, Huda. Guys, I want to cry. Guys, oh my God, very good, excellent. Obviously, brackets mean to multiply. The 3 terms means that each term must be multiplied by 2. So you would end up with x 5 times 2, y 2 times 2, z 4 times 2. So your answer would be x to the 10th power, y to the 4th power, z to the 8th power. Excellent job. I'm very, very proud of you guys. Very, very good. Now, that means we can now move on so that we could move on to our next topic. So I'm going to give you guys 5 questions to do. CXC level, they're going to be a little challenging, but I know you could do it, okay? So just take your time. Copy down all. Actually, no. What I'm going to do is let y'all do that for homework. So copy down these questions for homework so that we could move on to our next topic, which we have to get done tonight. So this is homework. Practice. Due on Tuesday. Due on Tuesday. Because today I actually had your past paper homework, the one that you're supposed to bring the week after. And since we have no class and I don't want to send it digitally, I want you guys to have the paper itself. So I'm going to give you guys that on Tuesday and you're going to bring it in the following week. So copy down these questions and then we take a little 5 minutes. No matter songs, this will make me walk away. Before I give that, everybody, based on the examples, out of 10, how you feel about everything we learned today? Drop your score, please. Thank you. Out of 10, how you feel about this topic? Loss of indices. Noted. 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 All right. So copy down these questions, okay?
To West Moorings, to Arima, to the world. From this one. We think, we think, oh, I try.
Hi, stop marking up my board.
Talk about love, talk about show. That's enough forever, it's forevermore. I give you my word, stick to my guns. Believe me when we play, it's just begun. You don't understand over. I just see more as a plan. I'm gonna say that's for the long time. And I open my eyes, oh, I give thanks and life, oh, oh, oh. Oh, yes, oh. As the days go by, yeah. Out comes the sun, shining on my face again. Ah, words get me high so I can meditate. Oh, dreams of brighter days. My spirits with days. Dreams of brighter days. Living thanks, living thanks, living thanks. Representing for the big bad sound, all just in my hair right now. You don't believe me. Don't let the sound, it's a shackle, our sound, it's a rockle, and happy nothing sound, don't let the sound, it's a shackle, our sound, it's a rockle. Applying peer pressure on the brain. Oh no.
That's a big bright smile, but my days are dark. Hungry till I can barely walk. Oh, don't you look on my face. No, no, don't have no food and my cupboard's dry. Only God knows how I get by. Oh, don't you look on my face. She's the sweetest thing that you've ever seen. Selling her body wasn't in her dreams. No, don't you look on her face. No. No, because we have a pleasant look. If you don't know the story, don't judge the book. Believe it or not. Don't watch the look on my face. No, even though I smile, it is only for a while. Didn't look in the river night, but I sweep my troubles underneath my pride. Yes, I'm gonna smile. No, it's only for a while. I will see my underneath my pride. Young me, believing under pressure. Yes, young me, under the pressures of life, and it just
All right, that's the homework. When you finish copying it down, sit down, please.
I pick it up and the bills, them, the rent, and the mortgage. When me try to spend your best friends are gone and it's only you. Turn up the music, can't feel free. Everybody wanna feel unreal. But the people that you feel. You don't feel like the music sweet. We get here.
All right.
It's sweet. Everybody wanna feel.
Giving everybody a few more minutes to finish.
You know, feel like I'm you see.
I just wanna smoke, drink, I love my girl to some reggae. I call her on the phone, tell her I'm coming up, so get ready. I got some that about the booze. All I wanna do is smoke, drink, I love my girl to some reggae. She wasn't ready.
All right, for those persons who are not finished, I need you to take a picture. Take a picture. We're starting a new fresh page. So fresh page, fresh topic, and then that's it for tonight. Hope everybody's okay. Un momento, por favor. Turn around, girl, don't be shy. All right, so head up on your topic. So long.
Just come to me and give you that sweet life alone. Sweet life alone. Come give me that sweet life alone. Sweet life alone. Hold me tight. Superman. I want to give it food up. I want to give it food up. I want to give it food up. Where you wine it, turn me up. Let's go in a hole. Wine it, feet at the bed for top. How you feel some things is not. How you go like a bunny cup. Swing like a woman. Hit the neck down, hit the jump. How you feel that thing is not.
All right.
Focus.
If you guys are ready, say ready, please. You mean with the questions? With the questions? And then you take a picture so that you could copy it down after. You got it? Okay. All right, guys. So before we get started with this specific topic, I need you guys to be clear. Remember when we first started algebra, I told you guys algebra is actually one of the most important topics because the concepts done in algebra are the skills that you need for every question, starting with integers. Because as you notice, integers is a part of everything that we do. Even though we didn't do any examples with integers in this because I was really just trying to focus on the concepts. I just want to do a quick example of how a question like this will come in CXC because it would never just come like so easy. Actually, two things that CXC implements a lot is the use of fractions and the use of integers. So I'm going to do a complex question before we move on. So you could go back and just find a space just to copy down this example. This is probably the hardest version of this question that could come. So they might give you something that look like this. Everybody see what I mean when I talk about complexity? because there's different things you have to pay attention to. So let me just make sure everybody paying attention. Everybody with me? Just say yes or no, please. I could know if we locked in. All right. So first thing first, you don't ever allow any, even if this is something new to you, you don't let it become something that intimidates you. You just stick to the rules that you were taught. And what was the rules? Anytime you multiply in algebraic terms, you break it down into two. You deal with the coefficients first, right? And then you deal with the variables second. So you should know that there's a coefficient answer and there's a variable answer. So let's first focus on the coefficient. This has a coefficient of 1/2, and this has a coefficient of -4. So just like integers, we will deal with the numbers and then apply the rules with the signs. What is 1/2 of 4? And this is for the class because we're going to work through this together. What is 1/2 of 4? Because when you're multiplying 4 by 1/2, it's the same thing as half in it, right? So you know that your answer is 2. But the question is, will it be +2 or -2? Excellent, because what we should remember is that a positive times a negative is a negative. If you got it, say got it, because we're breaking this down step by step. You don't ever let no fractions throw you off. And then I taught you how to use your calculators. So even if, let's say, you get nervous and you don't remember what to do, you get your calculator and you put in 1/2, and you should know how to put in your half. 1 fraction button, 2 times, and then you know your negative sign on your calculator. So you put times your -4, and that will just give you your -2. Okay? Now, let's deal with the second part, which is our variables. If I look on both sides, this is simple because I have ABC on both sides. So I just need to apply the rule. And because I am multiplying, what is the rule for the powers? I have to add the powers. What I need to pay attention to is that some of these powers are positive and some are negative. But I should feel confident in my ability to maneuver positive and negative numbers. So let's go. So this should be what? A2, right? 2 plus 3. That one's straightforward. Everybody with me? B now. B would be, because we're multiplying, we got to add 5 plus -2. So I write 5 plus -2. Then I have my C, and my C would be, just use yellow, 8 plus -1. 8 plus -1. So let's make sure everybody understand what I have here as we're working. Do you guys follow? You don't ever let anything throw you off, make you nervous, make you overthink, make you doubt yourself. You stick to the rules that you know. So let's go back down now. I could do another one after, but this is not the answer. So I put back my -2 because that doesn't change. And so I add where I can add. So A would be 2 plus 3 is 5. B, what's going to happen here? What we call this phenomenon? When two signs come next to each other like this, what do we call this? Clashing signs. Excellent. So somebody going to win. A positive and a negative going to become a negative. So this going to actually become 5, and this going to become minus. So because I know y'all know what to do, I don't have to write back over 5 minus 2. So we just subtract. 5 minus 2 is, somebody? 3. And then the C, the same thing here, clashing signs. So these two come together and it turns into what? Minus. So 8 minus 1 is 7. If you got it, say got it. My job is to show you that you could apply any rule that you use to any question, regardless of how hard it may seem. You stick to the rules. You stick to the process. Okay. So somebody asked to do another example. Would you guys like me to do one more example? Okay, I could do that. So I'm gonna do one that's a little harder. Sorry about that. Okay, y'all ready for us to try this together? But here's what I would like you to do for me. I want everybody to tell me what is the answer for the coefficient. What is the answer for the coefficient? Because your calculator should be close to you, right? Are watching the chat? I expect everybody to be trained. What would be the answer for the coefficient? How do we get to our answer for the coefficient? Don't we just divide? You realize what we're doing? We're dividing, you know. So I should say 0.4 divided by 5.3, no? Right or wrong? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So you see how I get catch? This is not multiplication. You can't multiply these two things. If it was multiplication, then it would have been 2.12. But this is division. What did the rules say before? If it was multiplication, you multiply the coefficients. If it's division, you divide it. So somebody post the answer for me, please. Thank you. Tell me if that's what y'all are getting. Yes, excellent. Yeah? So you will get 0.075. Nothing you can't do on your calculator. Nobody expecting you to do this out your hair. You use a calculator, you work this out. Everybody with me? Yes or no, please, come on. Even if you're not sharing an answer, at least let me know if you understand how we got that. I'm watching the chat. They got some people may say nothing in a while. All right, so let's do the second part now. So let's do the P's. Because we're dividing, what we're supposed to do with the powers, add or subtract? Because all I did was divide this number by this number, you know, that's it. Me ain't do nothing else. Ain't nothing hard or easy about that. You just do what it asks you to do. You divide. So now that I'm dealing with the variables now, people, what am I going to do with the variables? Both sides have P's and Q's. Add or subtract? You're going to tell me without that question mark. Because a question mark suggests doubt in yourself. So I need confidence. Excellent. Very good. So he is right. Because what do we learn? What is rule number 2? Rule number 2 says, let's just scroll back here. Rule number 2 says when you're dividing, you subtract the powers. So what should we write? That would be P 4 minus what? 6. Yeah? And this would give me what? Q2 minus 2. So let's go. What would be our final answer? Our final answer would be 0.075 P. Somebody tell me what's the answer for that power there? What's the power for P? And the thing is, are you home, eh? So you could use your brain or you could use your calculator. I just need an answer. Excellent. -2. What's gonna happen to the Q's? Oh, the Q's ain't gone. Because let me explain this to the side. This would give me Q0. But we know Q0 is what? Ain't just 1. And 1, everything here is being multiplied by each other. This is multiplied by each other. This is multiplied by each other. So anything times 1 is itself. So that's why Q's are just canceled out. That's your answer. So copy this down, please. So this is just an example of a challenging, a complex question. Well, 2. It's important for me to show you guys how these questions look now. So if you see them in the future, they're not new to you. You should be able to handle it. Once you guys are done copying this down, just say done. Another one probably feel like it busts your brain a little bit, but you guys gonna be at it.
The official soundtrack to Kickstart Carnival. Strictly new soca hits to pay attention to. The only mix that matters. Give me something I need. Give me something I need. Give me something I crave. I really need you to. I really feel great now. So let me have my way now. No one ever gonna leave now. I'm so invested in you. Cause I really feel a vibe every time we set the right down. And nobody like this, man. It's nothing like this, and it's nothing like you. Nothing, nobody like you.
Guys, give me 1 minute. My software just decided to crash on me. Let me know if you are seeing my screen. Yeah? Everybody seeing now? Alright, so hopefully everybody had the heading for substitution. So what we're gonna do is just some examples, So what we're gonna do is just a few examples tonight, just to introduce you to the concept, and then next class we go into it in depth, okay? So we should be finished by 7:15 latest. So let's go. Example 1. We're gonna start off easy to introduce you to the concept of substitution. So basically, whenever they gave you the values of a variable, everywhere you see that variable, you replace it with that number. So we're gonna start off easy. Number 1. They tell us A is equal to 1. So everywhere we see A, we're gonna put 1. They say B is equal to 2. So everywhere we see B, we're gonna put 2. They say C is 3. So everywhere we see C, we're gonna put 3. So let's start off with the first one. A plus B plus C. This example is pretty simple because it's straightforward. It's basic. So it's just a matter of exchanging each letter with its value and then calculating the answer. So here this would mean 1 plus 2 plus 3. So my answer would be 6. Everybody with me? 2. Now we're gonna take it up a next notch. If I had A, B, C, I can't say 1, 2, 3 because A, B, C has a meaning. Anybody could tell me what A, B, C means? What is the operation happening between these letters here? Anytime you see letters join up together like that, there's an operation between them, and that operation is multiplication times. Excellent. So this actually means A times B times C. So that means that we should have, sorry. 1 times 2 times 3, which is equal to 6. So example 3, 3a plus 4c minus b. All right, so let's go. 3a, what is the operation happening between 3a? Multiplication as well. So we use our brackets to represent this. So I would put 3 here, and in the brackets, I would put 1 to replace the a. Should I do it in color so we could see? So let me just do it in color so I could make it clear. So 3, Lord help me. Hold on. So I'm going to put the variables in things. So a, 3a, 4, it was 4c, 4c minus b. All right, so let's go. So that would be 3. And what is a? A is 1. So I replace it with 1 plus 4 times c. What is c? C is 3 minus b. So we minus, what is b? 2. So let's do the next step. To get your full marks, please know that you get a mark for this. Just by simply switching out or doing the replacement, you get a mark for that. Then you get a mark for your working. So that would be 3 times 1 is 3 plus 4 times 3 is 12 minus 2. And then you know how to add, you add in order. 3 plus 12 is 15. 15 minus 2 is 13. That's what you get your answer. If you got it, say got it. Watching the chat. All right, so what we can do, we can just do a few examples tonight, and then that's where we're gonna end class today. Substitution is really easy, but it's important for you to pay attention. So this one has one more question, and then we're gonna do another set of numbers. So 4 would be a square plus b to the 3rd power over 4a. So I'm gonna do this one for you. So let's go. What is a squared? First of all, what is a? A is 1. So that would be in the bracket 1 square plus b to the 3rd power. What is b? B is 2. So that would be 2 to the 3rd power over 4 times 1. I could use my calculator, and this is how you use your calculator. You don't try to put all of this in the calculator one time. Instead, you work out each thing separately, and then you do your overall calculation. What do I mean by that? 1 square means 1 times 1, so I put my answer here, 1. I can use my calculator to do that, even though you shouldn't have to. Similarly, 2 to the 3rd power, you could put this in your calculator, but if you know 2 times 2 times 2 is what 2 to the 3rd power means. And 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. How did I get that? 2 times 2 is 4, and then 4 times 2 is 8. So that's 8 over 4 times 1 is 4. So our final answer is just 9 over 4. Please note it is okay to get a fraction as your answer. All right? So guys, let me know when you're finished copying all these examples, and we're going to do one new set of numbers with negative numbers, and that's where we're going to end class today.
And every single time we touch, so I never wanna stop because I always wanna let you know that I love you so much and that nobody like you. Nothing is nobody like you. So make me ball out. Long time to talk over you. Long time to talk over you. Make me ball out. Long time to talk over you. Long time to talk over you.
like this man like I feel real fuck like Indian time I think I come I feel gone out but to come back please don't call out don't break my heart like this one now I think
Everybody try that one for me.
but I'm not shot get the point off so that's cool stuff still happy I may have stop.
Let me just pause for a minute to show. Please know that X is a negative number. So you know that means you have to pay attention to what? The integers, the laws of integers, the integer rules. Okay? Also, you have to pay attention to the algebra rules. You should know XY means what? X times Y. So I need you guys to try and send me the answer you get for this first one. Even if you ain't sure. All right, so we got one person. Excellent job, Ash. Anybody else? Okay, Bakim. Anybody else? Excellent. Let me explain another thing, right? You see, this skill, substitution is a skill. In every single question, you at some point, especially with worded problems, you would have to substitute. So this is why I need to make sure everybody is capable of handling this. Because I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do next class. Because there are some sexy questions that I need to give you out with some symbols, but we're not gonna do that tonight. So yeah. So everybody get -9. All right, let's check it out. Let's see if it's correct. So the first thing we should have is what X is. X is -1, put in a bracket. And Y is 4. So you know, once I put these two in brackets, it means that I'm going to be doing what with both of them? Subtracting, right? So then minus Z, which is -5. So BODMAS said to multiply before you subtract. So -1 times 4 is -4. And I bring back what I don't use, which is the -5. Here we see the integer rules. When the signs are alike, we add the numbers and we put back the sign. So 4 plus 5 is 9. We put back the sign. Answer is -9. Excellent job, everyone. Very, very good. Very, very good. B, try this one for me now. X squared plus Y over Z. Let's go.
A woman with no friends or a very small circle.
Okay, somebody get one. But you can tell me, but you're tell me this time with no question mark. So I see all your question marks. Tell me your answer. Don't ask me your answer. What is the answer?
I want you to stay. To me.
Okay.
You wouldn't believe if I told you.
You gotta choose one, Javed. You can't give me two.
So full of shit.
I want you to look back at the integer laws. Some of you make a mistake. When you square a negative number, what does that mean? Remember when we talk about the number of negatives you could have? When you got even number of negatives, your answer is positive. When you got odd number of negatives, your answer is a negative. Plus, you should know a negative times a negative is a positive, right or wrong? So before I do it, please back check your answer. Try to see if you can find your mistakes and fix it. This is also a very important skill to have in math. When you do a question, you don't ever assume that that's it, that's right. You look back and see if you applied all the rules correctly. So let's take a look and see what's going on. So x squared, so x is -1, so I'm going to put -1 in the brackets, and then I'm going to square it. I'm going to add 4, and I'm going to divide that by 5. What should we know? What is -1 squared? Isn't that, and I'm going to do it out the long way, -1 squared a -1 times -1. A negative and a negative and a positive. So it's going to be +1 plus 4 over 5. And why are we making these mistakes if we got calculators as well? My lovelies, please use these tools you have to verify your answers if you're not sure. So this would then give me 5 over 5, which is 1. But everybody was close. So I hope everybody see what their mistake is. Last one for the road. For the road. Last one for the road. 3. This one easy. Everybody should get this one. Everybody should get this one.
But you're so full of shit. Don't need to see you, see you, your mind's so good. See you in the way, don't be stupid. I don't know. I don't think I could love you, but maybe I don't see
Which one? 15 or 13? Which one? Which one? Check it again. I don't. Remember, brackets mean to multiply. Do it first. So you gotta do something first and then multiply. So let's see. So this would be 3 outside, 4 plus 1. So since there's something to be done in the brackets, we're gonna add first. So this would give me 3, 5, and we should know what this means. This means to multiply, right? And 3 times 5 is 15. All right, so I feel not 100% confident. So I'm gonna just do 3 questions. I don't want the answers, and that's it. Should I? Got 10 minutes.
Salty, hate to see you with some other brother.
That's
You
all right.
happy, hate to see you happy if I'm not the one driving. I'm so mature, I'm so mature, I'm so mature. I got me a girl, bitch. Tell me there's other.
We got 10 minutes. So all I can do, I'm gonna write all 3.
From Bowman Guys, baby, I'm I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Did you look for me?
Oh, shucks, sorry, that's the same question I just took.
I don't smoke banga. Did you check on me? Did you check on me? Now did you notice me? No.
These were CFC questions
But I know
from 2019.
I said you can never face. And if you don't know me well, you won't see how buried I am inside my grave. Inside.
So this is a past paper question.
Cause you don't see people don't really know you. They don't really know you. Cause you don't see people, they don't really know you.
Let's go.
They don't really know.
I need you to treat this very seriously. I need you to pay attention to the signs. I need you to pay attention to your answer. This has a lot of negatives that you have to maneuver around. There's a lot of clashing signs that you would also experience. So try it. Let's see what we get. Okay, even if you don't feel confident, a big part of this also is finishing, because in math, there's something called error carried forward. So let's say you do the wrong, you multiply two numbers and you put the wrong answer when you multiply, but the steps that you took was correct. You still actually get majority of your marks. So if a question is out of 3, you could literally get 2.5, 2 out of 3 once you finish and bring your answer completely to the end. So that's what I need everybody to do. So Vakim says 5. You want me to tell you yes or no now? Okay, I'm gonna say no. Check it over again. Once, I need everybody to try this one. And then the other 2 is for homework, just to add it on to the homework. So I'm gonna add on the other 2 here, the bottom, which is not for today, for next class.
I know I have good judgment. I know I have good. Baby, I'm I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Did you look for me? I walked in the room, my dad, and I don't smoke banga. Did you check on me? Did you check on me? Now did you notice me? No coffee window, but I know cause I put a smile on my face. I said you can never face.
All right, so we got -4 as an option. Anybody else?
Inside my grave. Cause you don't see people don't really know you. They don't really know you. Cause you don't see people
-19.
they don't really know you. They don't really know. Drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me?
Anybody else?
Did you look for me? I walked in the room, I got and I don't smoke.
Right, so let me start it.
Did you check on me? Did you check on me? Now did you notice me? Holy Father, please I hold my head. Cause you make you no leave me deep, but I only Father. Oh, make you try to understand. Yeah, who can know that for you? Cause you don't see people.
First of all, does everybody have this as their first step? Remember, I can't see all your books, huh? Okay, so somebody said -23. Somebody said 17. I don't know if somebody else said another answer, but yeah. So everybody, this is what you should have as your first step. So let's break this down. It's gonna give me 6. You bring back down the subtraction. The answer for this is going to be 2 times -1, which is -2. This -2 ain't got nothing to do with this subtraction that was there. So that's that. Then you're gonna got the plus. then you could use your calculator to get this answer, but you should know that this means -3 times -3 times -3. That's 3 sets of negatives. So you know your answer must be negative because that's an odd number of negatives. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So you get -27. This is what you should got. Here, then you're going to realize you got clashing signs. So this should be plus. This should be minus. So you're going to end up with 6 minus 2 minus 27. 6 minus 2. Wait, that's right. Hold on. Plus, sorry, I don't know where I got minus because it's supposed to be a plus. Sorry about that. So that should be plus. Everybody see why it's plus? Because a negative and a negative is a positive, right? So we're gonna end up with 8 minus 27. So our answer is -19. If you make a mistake along the way, you need to pay attention to the negatives. Let me explain. You see this, what happened in here? You can literally do this in every topic. Every topic, when you work out questions, this is how it's gonna look. So this is something you have to master. You must be able to master negative numbers. That is why we spend so much time practicing the negative laws. Everybody with me? So we're gonna end here tonight, and we're just gonna do a quick recap on what we did so far. But let me know if you guys finish copying down the other 2 questions. So if you're done copying down the other 2 questions, say done. So first off, I want to end class off by saying extremely proud of you guys. You guys definitely participated. You definitely did the work. You definitely communicated, and I really appreciate that. That's the only way you're gonna learn. That's the only way you're gonna get stronger, right? 2, we did 2 things tonight. We did the laws of indices, and you're gonna hear me talking about that a lot. Well, you know, my thing shut down, so I can't find the other slide. So let me see if I could find it. Yes, so that's what I was saying. So we did the laws of indices. We did 5 of them, and we practiced those questions. Keep in mind that that has nothing to do with the laws that we learned before for addition and subtraction. And the rule for addition and subtraction is what? You could only add and subtract like terms. And how do we identify like terms? They must have the same variable with the same power. So we know x and x squared could never be added, never, because these 2 are 2 different variables. This is a single variable, this is a double variable because this means x times x. So the only time powers could change is when you are multiplying and dividing. When you're adding and subtracting, that could never happen. So making sure we understand the difference between the 2. Right? So we had these 5 laws that we did and we practiced, and y'all killed them. And then we moved on to substitution. Where we replaced a variable by the value that is represented by it. So again, everywhere we saw A, we replace it with 1. Everywhere we see B, we replace it with 2. Everywhere we see C, we replace it with 3. The only thing that makes this difficult is whenever given negative numbers, you will always be given negative numbers. So it is important to be able to remember your laws of indices, which is when the signs are alike, what do? Add the numbers, you put back the sign. When the signs are different, what do? You subtract. So that would be 2, and your answer takes the sign of the bigger number. Then we should remember clashing signs. When an addition and a subtraction clash, it becomes a minus. So this becomes 3 minus 2, which is 1. When we have a double negative clash, we know that they become an addition. So this becomes 3 plus 2, which is equal to what? 5. Then we know a positive number times a negative number is a negative number, right? And we know a negative number times a negative number is a positive number. All right. So I want you guys to just rate your overall experience today online with all the concepts we learned out of 10, rating your understanding, how you feel about your understanding of everything that we did overall out of 10. I'm taking notes as well, so I need to see everybody's rank. Next class, you're gonna just let me know which parts you would like me to review or to strengthen a little bit more, and I would do so, including going over more challenging questions. I'm watching the chat. Please also make note of questions that you struggled with or what concepts you struggled with so we can know what to deal with. All right, guys, that's it for today's class. See you guys next on Sunday online. I will send a reminder. So have a good week. Have a good evening. Bye.